Hello, everyone. My name is LaKeesha Hines, and you are watching SOS, where we're saving our sex lives one bedroom at a time. I want to welcome all of you who are here. Please drop your geographical location. And you guys, I'm in Tampa, Florida. I want you to keep us in your prayers and everybody that's out there. You know, we got this Hurricane Ian out here trying to wreak havoc, trying to tear up some stuff. And so, just keep everyone in prayer that everybody's safe. There are no casualties, and that no one has any major devastation or damage to their homes. It's just a lot. I'm a native Floridian. I'm accustomed to having to deal with hurricanes and all that type of stuff, but you just never know, and everyone is different. So just keep everyone in your thoughts and prayers. And again, as I said, let me know where you're streaming from. What's up, Team Smith? Jewel and Gonzalez in the house. Hello. Oh man, you guys. So this is one of those topics. I'm just saying, it's one of those topics where it can quickly go left. But listen, I'm here for it. Say what you gotta say, people. Say what you gotta say. We're gonna jump right in. We're talking about pornography tonight. To watch or not to watch, that is the question. So my overall blanket statement is that, do I think pornography as a whole is bad? I do not think that couples engaging in their own pornography is bad. Like making your own movies, videos. I'm here for that. But I think anytime you bring somebody else into your bedroom, you open the door for unsolicited advice, fantasies, wants, wishes, desires. Yeah, I've never really seen it end well. I don't have not one example of it ending well. So that's why I'm like, I'm really thinking probably shouldn't watch it. So I'm going to take you through reasons, what the research says about pornography. And, as for you in your house, you do what you do. But I'm just trying to tell you, like, it usually doesn't end well. Alrighty. So reason number one, it can cause insecurity, feelings of insecurity. Now, I will have you know that statistically, the majority of the pornography watchers are males, but there are women who watch pornography and they love it and they get, as much stimulation out of it as men do. So I don't want this to be like it's only men that's watching porn. No, women watch it too. And there are women who do, like I said, thoroughly enjoy it. But we're talking about what the effects have been, according to the research, right? Is that it can cause feelings of insecurity. Specifically for women, it truly can make that woman feel as if she's not enough, right? That she is not enough, and that if only she lost weight, if only she had blonde hair, or she wore better clothes, or she fit into the right size, if only she looked different, that things would be better. But ultimately, what it comes down to is she feels like she's not enough. What if there's a fella who's well endowed? Maybe it might cause the husband to feel some insecurities, especially if there are toys being brought into the bedroom and the wife wants the size of the dude on the porn that she saw. I'm just saying, it can happen. So we don't want anybody feeling as if there's something wrong with them, right? Because like I said, one of the main things is it can cause feelings of insecurity. Secondly, it can cause feelings of betrayal. Sometimes there's an agreement made that, one person won't watch pornography, and then you find out later on that they've been watching it. That's a betrayal. It's a lie, and it is a violation of the agreement that the two of you have made. Also, many times porn use in marriage is kept hidden from each other. There's usually some sneaking that's going on. Okay, there is a small number of cases where the wife is okay with it, and she will watch with her husband. But when it's hidden, it's like living a lie. right? So it can cause betrayal. And if you have already dealt with betrayal by way of infidelity in your relationship, this is just can be another form of betrayal, right? So we definitely don't want that, right? We want these sexual connections to be something that are reserved for our spouses. And when a spouse is engaged in porn, they replace their spouse and connect sexually with something else. Okay. So, again, can create feelings of betrayal. Number three, it can cause suspicion. It can cause suspicion. Why? Because, again, oftentimes it's done in secret. And so lies, secrecy, wandering sexual pursuits, they're all violations of trust. And once that trust is broken, it can be rebuilt, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult because it will cause this internal battle of, should I believe you or not believe you? Okay. And if you lied about this, what else are you lying about? And then you get to questioning, how well do I really know this person? So it just causes unnecessary suspicion. Excuse me. All right. Next, it creates self-doubt. It can make a spouse feel as though they failed sexually, that they failed their spouse sexually, because in the mind, one might think, man, if my spouse didn't have unfulfilled desires, they would not turn to porn. Right. And so it can make the spouse feel as if they're a failure as a spouse. And again, just creates sometimes fear in the head and heart when a spouse watches porn. Okay. All right. Next, it can make one feel foolish. It can make you feel foolish. I thought I knew my spouse, thought we shared everything. But meanwhile, there's been a lot that I didn't know. Is this person the person who I thought they were? And then you get into questioning why you didn't know. And again, do I really know this person? And so again, it can make one feel foolish. Like, how did I miss this? How did I not know? How did I not know that this was a desire and this is something that you wanted to do, that you've been engaging in? So again, it can make a person feel like a fool. All right. So to deal with a porn issue, there are certain things that literally you just have to accept. Okay. You just have to accept if you're really going to deal with the porn issue. Number one, you cannot change anyone. You cannot or should not try to change anybody, and you cannot change anyone. You might be able to persuade using some of the things that we discussed previously, but you can't change them. A lot of mistakes that spouses make is to try to withhold affection. But if you're dealing with someone that has a porn addiction, they will just find another way to hide it from you, right? That just leaves you feeling gullible and worthless when you do eventually catch them watching. So you can't change them, nor should you try. Second thing you got to accept, it's not your responsibility to catch them. So this one is tricky, right? You will fall apart if you don't take care of your marriage, right? But sometimes if someone is truly addicted, they feel like it's out of their control. And if you've ever been addicted to something, you know, like stopping feels like it is virtually impossible. excuse, excuse me. It's not your job to chase your spouse down, telling them everything they're doing wrong, but you just got to create the right atmosphere so that they will come to you for support. Okay. But you're not there to catch them. Number three, third thing you have to accept, take care of you. Because guess what? Your spouse can't, your wounds are not your spouse's biggest problem yet. And I know that if you did not know this and you're just finding out that your spouse or partner is looking at porn, it can be devastating. You might feel gullible, you might feel stupid, angry, frustrated, disgusted, disgusting, or depressed. You might feel all of that at the same time. But basically, if you want your spouse to overcome the addiction, you cannot focus on your wounds. Like, I'm sorry, they can't focus on your wounds and helping you heal, right? You have to do that because you're the strong one. So you're the one that needs to be a support system. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by support system, right? Because there's gonna come a time when the two of you can work through your wounds together, but you may have already healed by then. So the focus for your spouse who might be addicted to porn is their focus is not you, right? Their focus is on trying to control their addiction or potentially trying to continue it depending on where they are in their process. But it's not you. And you just got to accept that they can't help you heal. All right. The next thing you have to accept if you're going to deal with this porn addiction is you are not to blame. You're just not. I know you heard this, but I want you to believe it. You are not to blame. And, let's just say you had a really rough day. Like you were just in a bad mood. You were irritated. You were annoyed at yourself for being in a bad mood. You're yelling at people, snapping. Patience is thin, like no tolerance or whatever. And your behavior may not have had anything to do with anybody else. Okay. So your mood, your habits, your self-control, they all determine how you act, not the way people around you behave. And it's not their job to walk on eggshells. It's not your job to be perfect, sexy, freaking the sheets, right? Your spouse promised to love you, and they have to figure out how to do that, even if you're having a disconnected day. So you are not to blame. And many, many times spouses will do this. They will blame the spouse for their behavior. Well, had you done this, I wouldn't have done that. Had you not done this, I wouldn't have done that. And it's lies. Okay. Everyone is responsible for their behavior, and it is a choice. Okay. So you are not to blame. All right. So we're going to take a quick break. And I'm going to give you tips, things that you can do to help support on the other side of this break. I want to say thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for watching SOS. And after this quick break, I'm going to give you tips like I always do, right? I never want to leave you hanging. All right, be right back.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I just had an opportunity to look at you guys' comments. Mr. Steve, why are you telling somebody to read a Bible, sir? Why are you saying that? What did you hear that made you feel like you needed to put that comment on here to read a Bible? Maybe you joined late. I said that for me, you want to make a video with your spouse and watch that? Yes, do it. I'm here for it. But watching pornography is not something that I have ever seen end well. And so I am not encouraging people to watch pornography. All right. So let's continue. Tips. What we're going to do to help. What we're going to do to help. First thing, express your dissatisfaction. You can't hold people to something that that they never knew was an expectation. So you definitely have to communicate, let your spouse know you are not okay with them watching pornography that you would like them to stop, and that you need to keep the lines of communication open for the future. All right. So you're expressing that you're not okay with it. Next thing, speak life into your spouse. This is a biblical concept, right? But it's also something that has been scientifically proven. Have you ever heard of cognitive dissonance? Cognitive dissonance is when you tell yourself something is true enough times that you start believing it. Excuse me. So this also works for other people that you speak into, right? So we, I know with clients, I have to make a point to tell them how well they will do, because I know that when they believe that they'll do well, they will do well. So you can speak life into your spouse by saying, oh my gosh, you're such a good man or woman, and you would never hurt me, and you're so good at loving me, right? So, benefits of you speaking life into your spouse: first of all, they'll feel a responsibility to live up to your expectations. Like I said, you can't hold people accountable for things that they never knew were expectations. Second thing, your spouse will start believing that they're the good spouse that you say they are, and they'll start lining up their behavior with this belief. So, it is important that you speak life into your spouse. Be supportive. Okay, so we talked about being a support system, right? And I said I'm going to break this down for you because I want to be very clear. I don't mean that you are to be your spouse's accountability partner in this area. What I am saying is, if they share their battle with you, don't flinch, don't make a big deal about it. Be a support system. You want to encourage them. You want to say, oh my gosh, I know this is difficult. I know that, this is hard. And, you're really struggling with this. Is there anything that I can do to help? Because a lot of times your spouse will feel like being intimate with you will help solve the issue, but that's wrong. And you got to let them figure it out on their own. A lack of intimacy in your marriage might play a role into the desire to watch pornography, but um, it's not what's responsible for their choices. Okay. It is a choice to do the wrong thing, just like it's a choice to do the right thing. So, we have to come to the realization on our own that, I can't blame somebody else, right, for my choices. And that way they will stop holding you responsible for their failure. And so, the next thing is you want to be invested. When you are being intimate, you want to be invested in it. You want to do it with fervor. And don't forget to speak life into your spouse there too. Tell them they're amazing. Be detailed. Be detailed. Oh, when you do this, it makes me feel that. Oh, that feels so good to me. Thank you. Like, don't be fake and phony with it, right? I'm just not trying to get into that space with y'all, because that's reserved for my man. But you want to make sure that you're being specific and detailed about what they're doing to you that you enjoy and that you like. Okay, it's your responsibility to love each other well, and we need to affirm each other in this area, in the bedroom as well, to let our spouses know what they're doing that's working, what they're doing that pleases us. And so you definitely want to make sure that you're invested in it. All right, which leads me to the next thing: be invested in your love life. you know like I said, be invested when you're intimate, but also continue to speak life, be detailed. And this is something that I want to point out also: it is not your responsibility to be better than the things your spouse is watching, but it is your responsibility to love your spouse well. Okay, when you have a spouse who's watching porn, especially one who might be addicted to it, affirming them might be challenging, because you might either want to completely withdraw, or you might want to compete with what your spouse is watching. But what you need to do is be your real, genuine, authentic self. Do your part, love your spouse well. Do not hold yourself responsible if that's not enough. While your spouse is going through, you won't be enough. Even if your spouse was married to a porn star, they would not be enough for them. The craving isn't for sex itself. The craving is for something forbidden, for the rush that comes with getting away with it. No matter how hard you try, the best you could offer is an illusion of secrecy. And so if you can accept that now and move past it, then it'll hurt less in the moment. Okay. Next, you got to find your own healing. Find your own healing. You cannot fully support your spouse if you can't find healing yourself. You want to look for some Christian friends that'll support you. And it might be very difficult to find because a lot of people want to support you when you love selflessly, right? It's become a pretty unacceptable concept in our culture. And so because of that, it'll be important to be confident in your decision to love selflessly. And so there are all different type of support groups on on excuse me, on Facebook, and they're all different, again, virtual groups that are out there that can help support not only the person who's struggling with a porn addiction, but also the spouse who is a part of that, right? And so focus on you, find your own healing, and make sure that you control what you can control, because I'm telling you, you can't control your spouse. Lastly, pray. Pray, pray, pray. I am a firm believer in the power of prayer. Someone who is addicted to porn, they are fighting an internal battle that you cannot control, but God can. So, the number one thing that your spouse needs from you is real, honest prayer time. Be a prayer warrior. Take care of the situation. Okay? Take care of the situation. Pray for your spouse. That is so important. We should be doing that anyway, right? But especially if you are struggling in this area, they're going to need your prayers. All right. So now let's see where we at. Ooh, okay. Denise says, late to the show, but I read that pornography can cause emotional disconnect and lack of empathy. Yes, Denise, it can. It can be very desensitizing. Um, Pornography also is typically coupled with masturbation. And when someone is excessively watching porn, masturbating, they are missing out on the connection with their spouse. They're missing out on that connection. And yes, you're right. It can cause emotional disconnect, a lack of empathy, because you're so focused on your own needs and your own satisfaction that you're not checking in with the person who's in the room with you. So spot on. Great point. Thank you. Um, con says porn can be quite addictive, just like drugs and alcohol. These days, sex is all about having fun. It's not about love and romance, hardcore sex mainly. That's true. There are a lot of people who really are not looking for an emotional connection or a spiritual connection or a mental connection. They're only looking for a physical connection. So you are right, Mr. Con. You're absolutely right. And, for me, I just don't even see the value at this point in my life of having sex that isn't a mental, emotional, spiritual connection first. Like, because once you experience that type of sex where you are connected in all of those realms, it makes the physical insane. Okay. Like, mind blowing, earth shattering. I've said this before. So if you don't have all those other elements, it literally is just two bodies rubbing up against each other, sticking a hole, whatever you want to call it. Like, that's all it is. And while that may be somewhat physically pleasurable, you are missing out on the fullness of what you can experience if you were connected in those other ways. So, man, I'm saying you guys are grown. You're going to do what you want to do. But I'm just trying to tell you, porn has ruined more relationships than it has saved them. So I just want to shout out everybody else that's here. Hey, Is that Key Money? Brown. Hey, Freddie, Tiana Hewley, Mr. Beaky, Steve again. Hello. Andrea. It's pronounced so many different ways. Miss Hall, Denise, Con. Thank you guys so much for watching. Gonzalez said, porn creates tension from past soul ties for a release. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Hey, Patricia. She says, bless you, our Couples Academy. This is why so many husbands, wives, and families are helped because of the power of prayer, the connection of God and one another. Love you. Oh, we love you too. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. All right. Well, listen, y'all have no questions for me. I just knew tonight, like, I was going to get questions. I just knew it. And y'all don't have not a one question in here for me. And so we're just going to go ahead and end for tonight. But I do want to say thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you. Um, oh, there's another comment. Okay. Ashley says, it's hard to support my spouse through his struggle when it makes me feel not enough, not beautiful enough, not sexy enough. Ashley, I hear you. And, this is one of the things that I said, one of the first reasons why I'm saying that porn typically doesn't work is because it does make the other spouse who's not watching not feel as if they are enough. But you are beautiful and you are sexy. And so one of the things that I'm going to encourage you to do is to find your sexy independent of your spouse. Find your sexy independent of your spouse. When you look good, you feel good, right? So you do what you need to do to make you feel good about yourself. A lot of attraction is about vibes and energy anyway, right? And so, like swag, right? And so it may be a dude that you see or a female that you see that's not even necessarily your type, but they got this swag, they got this energy, this vibe about them, and it makes them attractive. So it's really about how you feel about yourself, and like it exudes from you, it like illuminates and makes you glow. So you got to be confident within yourself that you're beautiful. Find your sexy. Know that you are enough just as you are. And as I said, if that's not enough for your spouse, that is their issue that they need to deal with. But you got to make sure you're comfortable with you, that you're good with you, first and foremost. And typically, what will happen is once you feel good about you, your spouse will feel good about you as well. All right, so thank you for your comment. And again, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. My name is LaKeesha Hine. This is SOS, and I will see you guys next week. Have a good night.